2 years after her death, Natalie Sarkisian's bedroom is largely untouched. The only change, some painful mementos of her parents' battle with their insurance company.
When I come to this room, I do cry. I miss her. Sometimes it helps me heal, but I wish she was here.
Although their insurance company, Cigna, ultimately agreed to pay for a last-ditch transplant that might have prolonged Natalie's life, the decision came too late.
Because they kept on denying, and delaying the procedure for my daughter. She could have gotten that liver.
Many months later, the Sarkisians' outrage hadn't diminished.
I want to ask them why they did this. I want to know why.
We're here to tell the world that Cigna killed my daughter.
They flew from California to the Philadelphia headquarters of Cigna Insurance. Accompanied by activists from the California Nurses Association, they wanted answers from the CEO.
I need to see Edward Hanway.
He's not available.
Why not? This is our life.
My daughter. You guys denied her liver transplant. She died.
After being stopped at security, a company spokesperson came to the lobby.
I'm Hilda Sarkisian, Natalie Sarkisian's mom.
So you guys have to tell your people when you selling the insurance, you have insurance, but you are not covered.
And I'm here all the way from California to give you a message, and I want to see the CEO. Who is he to decide? Who is he to make a decision?
That's exactly how you feel.
Okay.
And it was horrible that it happened.
That's all you could say. That's it. That's it. Are you guys sorry for this?
I am not familiar with all the details of your case.
The Sarkisians left without seeing the CEO and without the answers they had hoped for. What they got was a crude gesture from a Cigna employee who looked down on the confrontation from an upper floor.
I said, "Do you work for Cigna?" He gave me the finger, both fingers, to a mother like me. So what does that tell you?
For that gesture, Cigna sent a letter of apology to the Sarkisians, but the family has little other recourse against the company. After Natalie died, the family sued Cigna, but the case was thrown out before it was even heard. The Sarkisians found out that in most cases, if you get your insurance through your job, you can't sue for damages.
In America, in fact, you can sue for most things. You can sue for some ridiculous things. But you can't sue when a loved one dies because an insurer didn't give them the care that could have kept them alive.
Changing the law in order to hold insurers more accountable for treatment decisions has become a mission for the Sarkisian family. In their fight for reform, they're about to meet an unlikely ally, Wendell Potter, the Cigna executive who resigned in the wake of Natalie's death.
We're not talking about evil people. I say that the system is evil.
Now Potter has accepted an invitation arranged by consumer advocates to the Sarkisians' home. On the way, he collects his thoughts for what may be a difficult meeting.
You know, it may be helpful to both of us in some way, just to meet and talk. Mrs. Sarkisian? Hi. I'm Wendell Potter.
Hello.
How are you? Thank you very much for inviting me into your home.
Come on in.
Once inside, Potter searches for words.
I can't imagine the anger and the hurt. You know, the only thing I might be able to say is that Natalie's life was so essential. She's changed my life. And it was really because of Natalie that I decided to leave my job and ultimately become a real advocate for reform.
The family wants to talk about the day that still haunts them. The joy of Cigna's approval, quickly followed by despair. Too little, too late.
Why do they have to wait until that moment? Did you know that I did not know my daughter was going to die that day? No. I did not say goodbye to my daughter. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I did not know she was going to die.
I can't speak for anyone but myself, but I was hopeful. I was really hopeful that it could happen in time to save Natalie's life.
So these are the poems that she wrote.
The family shares their memories of Natalie, a poem that she wrote during her battle with cancer. It moves Potter to tears.
So you know how it feels.
Their meeting ends with a visit to Natalie's room.
What a beautiful
image. Beautiful.
and promises on both sides to work together for reform.
I'd be honored if we could somehow work together and try to help change things.
When it comes to healthcare reform, the debate is often loud and abstract. But for these three families, it has been deeply personal and urgently real.
You've pointed out what is the tip of a big iceberg.
Regina Herzlinger, the Harvard economist, says most of us have little choice about the health insurance we get and even less information.
We should have precise information that tells us, if you get sick, here is how we will treat you.
She suggests a relatively simple solution, a consumer protection agency dedicated to rating insurance companies and clarifying their policies.
I know everything about my car. I know how safe it is. I know how fuel efficient it is. Why do I know that? Because the federal government says you've got to publish that information. The insurance companies have to open up and inform people how they make these life and death decisions.
So you're saying that we're not looking at the right thing?
Transparency is always a great solution.
Unless or until the system changes. Professor Herzlinger says many families will have to keep fighting at the worst time of their lives. She says your best ally is a doctor or caregiver.
They want to help you. They will go to the wall for you.
She says rallying attention from the media is extreme, but sometimes necessary. And it's always a good idea to find an outside advocate to fight on your behalf, like Debbie Crusoe did.
If you are in this situation, you have to get very aggressive.
Even now, Debbie Crusoe is not giving up. She's pushing her city to change its policy so that all firefighters can take advantage of experimental drugs.
I said, change it. This could happen to anyone.
And the Gannons have no alternative but to keep moving forward, one day at a time, with all they have.
That's my secret weapon, that I'm determined, and I will never stop